we can inculcate the habit of listening, isn't it?
You're right, sir.
Yes. Dr. Sudhir Madpati is very much here. Few delegates are ready to give feedback on behalf of all the participants. And I would also put on record that we will share the feedback link, which will be attached with a digital certificate, a very beautiful certificate designed by Dr. Kailash Atkare sir, Dr. Vishnu Shewale sir, Dr. Gajendra Pradhan sir, and the research team. I am proud of such kind of aspiring researchers and scholars for their helping hand. Harshada, please take your time. Is
Yes.
it convenient to you?
Yes, sir. I think I have started my video, but I think I'm not visible still.
Yes, with your kind permission, let us invite another scholar so that you can solve the issue, isn't it?
Yes, sir. Surely, sir.
I invite Honorable Devraj sir. Dr. Devraj sir, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Please unmute yourself. A very good evening, Dr. Devraj sir.
Yeah. Thank you, sir.
Heartiest welcome on behalf of Marathwada Shikshan Prasarak Mandals, all the stakeholders, teachers, students, and friends. Before putting the ball in your sublime and sanguine court, let me invite Dr. Gajendra Pradhan sir to give a very precise introduction of Dr. Devraj sir, who is speaking on an innovative topic, that is invaluable value of science fiction in the inculcation of literary values, scientific perspective in the context of national education policy. Are you ready?
Yes, sir. I have.
Dr. Gajendra Pradhan
Shall
sir?
I, sir?
Yes, please.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I get this honor to introduce a personality very much dedicated to science fiction, as I gone through his profile. To have you, Mr. Devraj Maulik, sir. He is a lecturer in English. Yes, sir. Well, Somaiya Polytechnic, Mumbai, India. He is also a bilingual poet, a multi-talented person, very good in short story writing. He is an official book reviewer, a blogger, a researcher, and whatnot. Really great to have, sir. Devraj also enjoys conducting workshops on creative writing, poetry, and business communication. His writings have been published in various webzines, magazines, and anthologies. Maulik, sir, did his MPhil dissertation from Department University of Mumbai. He is a lifelong member of Indian Association of Science Fiction Studies, that is IASFS, Bangalore, India. Maulik sir has worked as an organizing committee member as well as editor of an international science fiction conferences in India. Devraj has provided expert lectures on various topics like science Bengal, thought expression in Bangla, science fiction, the need to popularize Indian vernacular science fiction, among others. His articles and official book fiction have been published in Science, India Magazine, and Kalpa. Sir, really multitasking, multi-talented, working at various levels, really feeling, sir. And if on request, if you would like to tell the meaning of your name, that is, I think, or surname, Maulik. I don't know your name, but if any condition is there for telling this meaning. Thank you, sir. Well,
Thank you, sir, for
Thank you.
kind
I
words.
would like to add a footnote. Since Dr. Vishnu Shewale sir is being requested to share the flyer, please share the flyer of Devraj sir.
Okay, sir.
I just shared to your WhatsApp. Devraj sir is our academic friend, and he is the part of Bengali incredible literary tradition made by many great persons, right from the Nobel laureate Rabindranath Tagore, Bankim Chandra Chatterjee, down towards the makers of Kalpa Vishwa. He is a devoted scholar, completed his MPhil exclusively devoted to science fiction, speculative fiction, and he has the capacity to have a heart-to-heart dialogue with the aspiring students. He used to speak in a style of a 2020 match player. Very fortunately, I am very sorry to put on record that I invited him at 11th hour and he put the ball in his court. Let us see how he play it with wit and wisdom. A perfect incarnation of intellectual beauty and bounty, wit and wisdom. Dr. Devraj sir, we would like to put a request ball in your court. Let me take one photograph. Later on, you can share your screen with this flyer. Make it a presentation mode, Dr. Vishnu. Otherwise, it is convenient for our record. Let me take one photograph. With this footnote, on behalf of all the delegates, participants, Marathwada Section Prasarak Mandals colleges, respected teachers and friends, I invite Dr. Devraj sir. Please take the charge. Now the request ball is in your sanguine and sublime court. Sir, please.
Thank you so much for the lovely introduction, sir. Professor Balaji sir and Principal Digambar ji. That was a holistic observation about NEP. I got to learn so much about NEP from your lecture. I was listening to you, and we are also trying to implement NEP in our course in KJ Somaya because it's a autonomous institute. We had some liabilities, and there are some kind of freedom to implement that. That was a very good lecture, and I got a question. That what is the meaning of the surname Maulik? So Maulik is something, it's a Sanskrit word. It's prime. My original surname is, I don't want to go into caste or something like that. I'm not a casteist. Is Chatterjee. But there was one of my ancestors who did some original contribution in the field of research, mainly, I guess, chemistry. And that's why we got the surname from the Raja of Nalbari. Nalbari is in Assam. And during those days, the Assam subdivision and the Bengal subdivision, it was a unified one. So that's the mystery behind my surname. Now, with permission of Professor Balaji sir, I would like to start my presentation. Yeah, thank you.
Thanks, sir. Thanks. Yes. Sir, I think you go ahead, sir. Yes, please. Thank you so much. Yes.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Go on.
Is it visible? Yeah.
Well, yes, it's visible.
Okay.
Quite visible. Please continue.
Okay. So first thing, what is we all know what is NEP. NEP is the new education policy, and one of the most important thing in NEP is the amalgamation of various disciplines, be it engineering, be it science. I don't have any idea about medical, management, commerce, and obviously arts. So, and if you look at the title and the designation, the education of some European authors, they have degrees, they have BA, and after that they have MSc. How is it possible? Because a student of science is also getting a chance to read Socrates, to read Shakespeare at an upper level, at a university level. And I guess that is the aim of the NEP, because a student of mechanical engineering can take a subject from computer engineering and electrical engineering. And they have multiple exit points also. And here comes the notion of science fiction. So the fiction part, have the slide changed? Can you see the slide? Yeah. The slide changed. Okay. So here comes science fiction is basically a love child. I'm not saying why I'm using the word love child, because it is the child where the society had problem to accept, but it is a labor of love. Now there is science, there is fiction. The fiction, obviously the literature student and the student of arts, and then there is some kind of scientific temperament. Now, while understanding science fiction, you need to understand mythology is not science fiction. Try to understand that. Harry Potter is not science fiction. Lord of the Rings is not science fiction. There is a cow which is flying. That is fantasy. But if there is a scientific principle, if there is a scientific, almost believable and rational explanation of that cow is flying, that is science fiction, which is not possible now, but after 20 years, it might be possible. I'll give you examples. So that is the importance of science fiction in national education policy. Okay, now the question arises, what is science fiction? It is something, it is for the future. Now, this national education policy, it has been framed in order to inculcate scientific values among students. Scientific values is not only the calculation or something like that, and the principles of Niels Bohr and Max Planck. No, it is the rational thinking. So when you are studying science fiction, there has to be a rational thinking. When you are writing science fiction, there has to be a logical flow of events in a scientific way. Now you can see the robots. Now let me give you an example. You see drones nowadays in wedding, in parties, in any kind of event, you can see drones. Drone came from the concept of science fiction. So the science fiction author dared to imagine, dared to go where no one has gone before. They gave us a framework. Now, what is the contribution of science fiction to our, the society? Let me give an example. First of all, it gives you the idea. And where is the innovation comes? The person who is doing the PhD after MSc or MTech. And what it leads is to the betterment of the society, betterment of the human life. Now, what are the real contribution of science fiction to our world? You can see on the left hand, there is the submarine, Indian submarine, Aryan class. There are some mobile phones, there is earbuds, there is a flat screen television. All of them, the main notion came from science fiction. This submarine, it came from the famous Jules Verne's novel, 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. There was this prototype, Nautilus, the submerged ship of Captain Nemo. You can see the mobile phone. You might have heard about this famous American TV show, the Star Trek, the Final Frontiers. It came from that. And then Motorola devised the phone. I'm not saying the science fiction devised the phone, but they gave us the idea of the phone. Now you can see flat screen television, you can see earbuds, there are fingerprint readers. All of them came from a path-breaking novel, science fiction novel by Ray Bradbury, that is Fahrenheit 451. And also the concept of personal surveillance of the people from the society by the government. Big brother is watching you. Privacy has become a myth. You can be traced by the government. You can be traced by any person on the world. That came from the concept of science fiction. I'm speaking about 1984, George Orwell. I'm speaking about Brave New World by Aldous Huxley. So that's the beauty of science fiction. And there is a reason why science fiction has been included in NEP. Because we need the bridge. We need the bridge in order to leap across the gap between various disciplines in our education. And that is why Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar Marathwada University, University of Mumbai, and I also guess University of Jadavpur University, and there is Bangalore University, they have introduced science fiction in their curriculum. Now, 20 years ago, if you have asked a person from literature, I want to do a book review, I want to do a study, a systematic study in science fiction, they will be like, what is science fiction? No, go for the canonical literature. So this science fiction is also a kind of protest to break the shackles, to find, to look for new frontiers, to explore new ideas, which can be beneficial to the society. So science fiction is not only what should I say, a mere drop in the ocean. It is feminism because it deals with the struggle of men and women, other genders. So it's a queer study, it's gender study, it's Marxism. It depends. It deals with the class struggle. It is archetype criticism. So it is a whole amalgamation of whole range of literary theories. But people are facing some kind of issues. While as a researcher, when I was doing my research, I faced many kind of issues. For example, there is a lack of scientific temperament. It's like So I had one friend from Bangalore, and he was like, "What's Macha? What is this science fiction? The cuckoo flies away from the nest." No, there has to be a logic. You have to give like how the cuckoo flies away. Is there a parabolic motion? Is the body weight? What is that? You give them. Now, if you look carefully, Sami Ahmed Khan, one of the leading researcher of science fiction, in his book, uh, he tells that, yeah, as a member of this particular country, of our great country, you might be saying there is leftist, there is rightist. The leftists are trying to say there is problem in everywhere, and the rightists are trying to claim the golden past. And the problem lies with the people who are in the middle. They have no clue what is going on. Here, science fiction comes to give you a pen picture of what happened in the past, what is happening nowadays, and the most important thing, what might happen. I'm not saying it will happen, what might happen in the future. So it's a blueprint for the next generation, for the next world. And I've already given you the example of the difference between fantasy and science fiction. And obviously there is lack of research materials, but fortunately nowadays there are many publishing houses, there are many apex bodies which are helping, and most importantly it's a part of university curriculum. It's a long struggle. I hope those who have studied feminism, they know about the apartheid movement, the suffrage movement. The women had to fight a long way in order to get the voting right. So now there is whole lot of study in feminism, first wave feminism, second wave feminism, and the new age feminism. In the same way, the people of science fiction had to struggle a lot to gain their place. Thankfully, times are changing. As Bob Dylan has said, times are changing, people are going to appreciate. And one of the most important contribution in the development of science fiction is NEP, because it has allowed the new literature to grow, to explore, and to be taught in the classroom. And remember, do not go for the reinvention of wheel. What has been said, what has been done, don't do it. Go for the new one. People will try to scare you. There is no secondary material for research. There is hardly any critical books. Make them believe you can search for the secondary material. You can create the material. That's more important. And obviously, now NEP, what is the final frontier? So NEP has given us the base, the platform for innovation and inclusion of science fiction in the curriculum. And obviously, you can look at that, the digital India. If you look very carefully, if you go at the theoretical framework, the ideas and innovation, the digital framework, and this idea and innovation, it has been provided by science fiction in many ways or the others. If you look very carefully, one of the prominent scientists and one of the most prominent authors in Indian science fiction is Jayant Narlikar. He's from Maharashtra, and he's a scientist. And then there is Isaac Asimov. He has background in science. There are innumerable people who has helped in the growth of science fiction, in the growth of scientific temperament. And it has inspired people. These are the children of dreams, I would say. Marathi Vigyan Parishad, Kalpa Vishwa, they are doing lots of translation project. Now, translation is also very important because NEP focuses on the study of science in regional language. Now, here comes the importance of translation. But people might have this notion, what this translation, everything is lost. No, many things have been gained in translation. Remember, the most printed book in the whole world, that is the Holy Bible, it is read in translation. Hardly few people knows the Aramaic language. It's mostly read in English. So yes, so that's the importance of translation. And obviously there is this father body, that is a Indian Association of Science Fiction Studies. This is one of the founding members of Indian Science Fiction Studies, Dr. Sri Narahari, who has been instrumental in providing lots of encouragement to the young researchers. I hope Dr. Balaji will agree to this fact. So these are the people who are trying to do a lot, and they're at this Elphinstone College in Mumbai. So there are seminars. That's the year 2015. So the base work, the groundwork has already been done. Now it's time for us to be the Ulysses, to strive, to seek, to find, but not to yield. That's it. And there is John Lennon. You say, I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. Maybe after this presentation, there will be one student who will go to YouTube, will go to, this particular place, our Mecca, our holy place, Google, and will type the word science fiction. Kis chidiya ka naam hai science fiction? What is science fiction? And I am now going to Hindi. There is no English literature. There is only one literature, that is world literature. And world literature has place for every kind of language. So do not be so proud, I have an English background or something like that. Focus. And when you say you are a student of literature, you are a student of world literature. You have to study all kind of literature. It's not possible to learn all kind of language. Thank God there is translation. Maybe it's not faithful, maybe it's not beautiful, but you will have some knowledge. So you have Indian Association of Science Fiction Studies, you have Indian Association of Science Fiction Writers, you have Marathi Vigyan Parishad, who used to conduct this competition in order to come up with new science fiction stories. Jayant Narlikar is from that competition. We have Kalpa Vishwa Publication. They are doing innumerable works. They are publishing, the lost volumes of Fantastic. Fantastic is one of the earliest Bengali magazines used to publish science fiction. They're coming up with lots of translation, Hindi translation into Bangla, English translation of Spanish works, French works, German works. They came up with various works, and they are coming up. And one of the founding members of Kalpa Vishwa is going to represent India in Global Science Fiction Conference. Mr. Deep Ghosh, the founding editor of Science Fiction, is going to China to represent India. Now he's not going for Bengali science fiction, he's going for Indian science fiction. And when there is an Indian science fiction going to represent the country, the multilingual country, if you know 3 languages, you have already read 300 books on Indian science fiction. Marathi, there is Tamil, there is Kannada science fiction, there is Assamese science fiction, there is Udiya science fiction, obviously there is Hindi science fiction, Arvind Mishra has been doing, there is Urdu science fiction also, and Bangla science fiction. So there's a whole lot of avenues for translators, copywriters to pursue a career in science fiction. And how to pursue a career in science fiction? The government of India, they came up with this thing, the NEP, where you have multiple exit points, you have multiple entry points. You have a science background, you have a commerce background, you can study science fiction. Or a person of science fiction, if they're inspired and they have the basic, the caliber, they can pursue a science in, they pursue a career in science also. So that's the beauty. And the campus chronicles, I just checked out. Dr. Balaji has also sent the syllabus. So in MA Part 2, you have the science fiction literature. You have H.G. Wells, and University of Mumbai in bachelors, they have already included science and literature. Now it was not possible 20 years ago, but now world is changing, man. And everything needs to be rebuilt from ashes. So you need to have a scientific temperament. And that is Captain Picard from science fiction. The Star Trek, I would have given a boring slide of science, the thank you or something like that. So I just thought I would, copy a GIF image. I hope you know what is GIF image. So that's it. So this is the new India. Chodo kal ki baatein, kal ki baat purani, naye daur se likhenge hum naye hum Hindustani. And Vasudev Kutumbakam, we are part of the global literature, the global world. So that's it from my side. I would like to thank my professors, my PhD guide, Dr. Rajesh Yole, my PhD center, Sikati College, my fellow researcher, Deepti ma'am is there, my student from SNDD, Pragati is there, and there are many few people, my well-wishers, and obviously to the whole body of, the organizing committee of this beautiful conference. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Principal Sir. And obviously, last but not the least, Professor Balaji Navle. He is just a call away. I need some secondary material. I need some, issue of the library, online library. He's always there. He gets up in the morning. I get his message at around 5 to 6 a.m. in the morning. He's an early riser. So he has been inspiring. He's a monk. And thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone, for this kind opportunity. And the 11th hour pressure is very real. Thank you for this pressure. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Devraj sir, Dr. Devraj sir, for playing an important inning in the marathonic session. One question is raised in the inbox. Is it possible to use?
I can see you. Okay. Do you think science fiction can be seen? Aditya, yeah, he's from BHU. Adi, science fiction can be seen as a literary space, product of ethical and unethical usage of science. Yeah, obviously it is very important. This is a very vital question, because if there was a science fiction before the advent of atomic bomb by Dr. Oppenheimer, who could have known how science fiction can be used to annihilate the population of Earth, maybe he would have been a bit careful. I'm not saying he has done some kind of wrong. Obviously, it is wrong on a part of being Indian and Japanese, because it was dropped on the Japanese section and Subhash Bose had to retreat. So yeah, there is a whole lot of. So when you were praising Dr. Oppenheimer, the American policy of atom bomb, you need to reread your history. Yes, science fiction acts as a horoscope, and it does acts as a bridge in order to give a warning to the people who are in science that ethics is very important in science. Obviously, you need to push boundaries. I'm not a scientist. I cannot. I'm saying obviously might. Listen to these words. I'm not saying must. It can work as a platform between, the ethical and unethical conundrum. So yeah, that's very important, because a person who is making a CCTV camera, if the person comes to know it can be used to violate the privacy of people, he might develop it in some other ways.
The screen.
Okay, so yeah, I guess that's answer my question, Aditya. Thank you for this lovely question. Yeah. Okay.
Thank you, Honorable Dr. Devraj sir. On behalf of the science fiction community, on behalf of the stakeholders associated with Marathwada Shikshan Prasarak Mandal, on behalf of all the delegates, teachers, and friends, we would like to put a note of gratitude and reverence to you for actively participating in this national workshop and giving justice to really an invaluable value of science fiction under national education policy. With your kind permission, let us proceed and put the request ball in the court of a very dynamic, young and aspiring student who is a perfect incarnation of intellectual beauty and bounty, wit and wisdom.